But I've been asked to cover the commercial and environmental benefits of solar PV. But I'm a natural maverick, so I'm not actually going to do that because I think the environmental benefits have been proven. I think we all know that. That case has been made. So there's no point in me dwelling on that fact. From the commercial point of view, I suspect a lot of the presentations today are going to cover that aspect as well. So really, as an industry, we just need to get the message out there. That's really our job, and also understand how to deliver solar effectively or cost effectively and to high quality. But a bit about me first. I've been in the industry, scary to say, nearly 15 years, in fact over 15 years now, and there's few people that can probably claim to be in the industry longer than me, apart from Ray Noble. Is he here yet? Ray Noble does make me look like an upstart. I won't say a young upstart because I'm not that young, but he's certainly been around a lot longer than I have. But in 15 years, or looking back 15 years ago, solar was misunderstood. All the media, they always confused solar thermal with solar PV. They never understood the difference. It was ludicrously expensive, I think, as most of you will know. And so it's really the preserve of the sort of die-hard, yurt-living environmentalist or those building satellites. It really was not a mainstream technology. And if you had any mention of it in government, in the corridors of government, about it being a serious contribution to our UK energy mix, you'd probably be met with sniggers of mirth behind hands or behind your back. It simply was not taken seriously. But how things have changed over the last 15 years. It's clearly a mainstream technology at both point of use, behind the meter as seems to be the terminology now, and at utility scale, with almost 1 million solar rooftops in the UK, which is a staggering performance. More than 80% of the British population, the British public, support solar, so they clearly understand it, hence not covering the environmental benefits because everybody really knows, or at least 80% of the public know, and that's according to the now defunct Department of DEC's own survey, so perhaps more of that later. Prices have declined over 80%. We now have our own version of Moore's Law called Swanson's Law, which effectively states that for every doubling of capacity, prices should come down by 20%. And that will hopefully continue into the near future. And in the month of May, it was reported that solar contributed more electricity to the UK energy system than coal ever did for the whole month of May. And for a country that was built on coal, I think that's quite a staggering achievement. And it's a British and a global success story. It did, at its peak, employ what was estimated to be about 35,000 people in this industry. I think that's changed, and a bit more of that later. But again, I think it's still to be considered a success story. But I think, as we all know, there are headwinds. Government support and sentiment for solar has probably been waning. Some might say hostile, but I'm going to resist the urge to get political. And the Solar Trade Association are about to publish a report which gives the figures or attempts to quantify the job losses this year. But I'm told there are some positives within that, and that study is embargoed until Friday, so you'll probably see that in the press at some point on Friday. There's also a possibility, some of you may have picked up, of a large increase in business rates for businesses with solar on their roofs. But again, we hope the government department that's responsible for that will see sense. It's not a deliberate attempt to put people off solar. It's simply a standard revaluation process using the standard formula, but it's having an undesirable effect. So we hope that gets addressed. But I do certainly firmly believe we've got a short-term glitch in the continued growth of solar. We have a vibrant and innovative industry, and Deutsche Bank predicts that the global market to 2035 will be $5 trillion. So we're certainly not a cottage industry anymore. And Bloomberg estimate if we install solar to 50% of the UK's south-facing commercial rooftop, it would produce 19% of the 2015 electricity demand. So a sizable contribution. But also the positives. I mean, solar, I think, as we know, is relatively cheap. It's low risk and it's easy to deploy. You could, if you want, tie up millions of pounds in a new gas-fired power station, wait 3 to 4 years for it to come online, or billions of pounds in a new nuclear power station and wait 10 years plus for it to come online, at which point the whole energy and political landscape could have changed. But I can build 1 megawatt of solar for you in a matter of weeks. It's dead quick, dead easy. And as the energy storage market develops, and the intermittency argument is neutered as well, and I think Ray is going to talk a little bit more about that. But that's quite exciting. My own company, we've just been appointed principal contractor for the first installation of a commercial Tesla power pack in the whole of Europe. So we're looking forward to investigating the business case around the Tesla power pack and that utility scale battery storage. So that's due to be installed and commissioned throughout August and September. So quite an exciting development for us. So what of that government support? Do we actually still need it? I think that's an important question. I think it goes without saying, certainly in my opinion, and so that's an opinion built on 15 years, solar is here to stay. But you could argue, admittedly, that the withdrawal of support is premature. But we don't actually expect government financial support for the rest of the elements we put into our building. So why should solar get support when it actually delivers a clear financial return? Especially when the case can be actually quite compelling. So if you consider solar on your building or buildings, and it might deliver savings of £100,000 a year, just for nice round figures. If your business works on a gross margin of 15%, again for argument's sake, you would have to increase sales turnover by £700,000 to make the same impact on your bottom line. That's probably not that easy. Some businesses might find it easy, but lucky them. So that's not easy, but the savings from solar are certain. So rather than government support, or rather expect government support, I think it now falls to industry to lead the way for a more competitive and low carbon economy. And hopefully today you'll get the inspiration and practical advice to make that happen.